So we will let devotees read through the that 1540, that Bhagavatam is universal lecture offering independently, and then we will discuss that later. So we'll go to 16 onwards. 116. This chapter is a very, very, very sweet chapter. There is a lot of courage and hope for us by going through Narad Muni's previous lifetime. Right now, he has not gone through so much of problem because Narada Vyasadeva has just given, sorry, he is just told half of the story to Vyasadeva. So, so who can recall the story told by Narad Muni up till this point? His own previous lifetime story we are talking about. Who can recap that? Till now, what is the thing that what all that Narad Muni told about his past life? While you are thinking, I will say the Mangalachan prayers that will give you some time to think over, and then we can discuss further. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Diriyet Ashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnana Shalakya Chakshurunmeditam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Utapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajeev Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं देवतारिणं श्री परमानंद माधवं श्री चैतन्यमेश्वरं नमो विष्णुपदां नमो विष्णुपदां स्वामी नमस्ते सारस्वदेवे गौरवाणी विचारिणी निर्विशेषं पाश्चात्य. So we are reading from somebody who is doing it from the system can open first canto 6th chapter. Those who joined a little late, I told the devotees that we can all individually read through that topic titled Bhagavatam is Universal from the PDF or thing that you can download and read that. There's so many wonderful nectar that is there, but there are so many parts that we may not be able to move forward in our Narada Muni's glories of Narada Muni. So we are reading from 161. Anybody would like to share the verse on the screen? I'll be reading from the book. I won't be to do two things at the same time. Shivam Prabhu? Yes, Prabhu, you can share? Okay, thank you, Prabhu. Are you still in Lucknow, Prabhu? You are on mute, Prabhu.
Actually, my father met with accident, Prabhu, so that's why I'm just here to take care
How
of
is he
him.
now?
He is on bed rest now, so
Oh, Krishna.
now it's fine. Yeah. So can you see the screen?
Yes, Prabhu. May I have to zoom it a little bit, Prabhu?
Sure.
Yes, this is better. Anybody want to read the verse? Sutta Vacha.
Can I read, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Sutta Uvacha Evam Nishamya Bhagavan Devarishe Janma Karma Cha Bhuya Prapachatam Brahmam Vyasa Satyavati Sutta.
Very nice. So you can read the word to word meaning also, Mataji.
Sutta Uvacha, Sutta said, Evam thus, Nishamya hearing, Bhagavan, the powerful incarnation of God, Devarishi, of the great sage among the gods, Janma, birth, Karma, work, Cha and Bhuya again, Praparcha asked, Tam him, Brahmam, O Brahmanas, Vyasa, Vyasadeva, Satyavati Sutta, son of Satyavati. Translation, Sutta said, O Brahmanas, thus hearing all about Sri Narada's birth and activities, Vyasadeva, the incarnation of God and son of Satyavati, inquired as follows. Purport, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji.
Purport, Vyasadeva was further inquisitive to know about the perfection of Naradji, and therefore he wanted to know about him more and more. In this chapter, Naradji will describe how he was able to have a brief audience with the Lord while he was absorbed in the transcendental thought of separation from the Lord, and when it was very painful for him.
A beautiful thing, no? So this whole chapter is about how to meditate on the Lord in separation. So we will read the next verse also, and then we will discuss further. Who wants to read the next verse? Anybody want to read the next? Sushandra Prabhu? You want to read, Prabhu?
I told you that I'm getting a lot of difficulties in reading the verses because, Kenya, we were taught the Bhagavad Gita verses. I'm finding.
Okay, I will read the verse. You can do the translations and word for word.
Okay, no problem.
Vyasa uvacha bhikshubhe vipravasite vijnanadeshtubhistava vartamano vayasyadhye tatah kim akarod bhavan. You can read the word to word meaning, Prabhu.
Okay. Vyasa uvacha, Sri Vyasadeva said, Bhikshubhi, by the great mendicants, Vipravasiti, having departed for other places, Vijnana, scientific knowledge in transcendence, other streets, 3b, those who had instructed Tava of your Vartamana, present, Vayasi, of the duration of life, Adya, before the beginning of, Tata, after that, Kim, what, Akarot did, Paman, your good self. Translation. Sri Vyasdeva said, what did you, Narada, do after the departure of the great sages who had instructed you in scientific transcendental knowledge before the beginning of your present birth? By divine grace, Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Vyasdeva himself was the disciple of Naradji. Therefore, it was natural to be anxious to hear what Narada did after initiation from the spiritual masters. He wanted to follow in Narada's footsteps in order to attain the same present stage of life. This desire to inquire from the spiritual master is an essential factor to a progressive path. The process is technically known as Sadharma Prachar.
Very nice. So now who wants to say where did the story stop actually? Because Narada Muni tells the glories of Bhagavatam, then his own previous life story, but he stops at a certain point and then again gets back to what all Vyasadeva should mention in his elaboration of Srimad Bhagavatam. Correct? So there is a point where he stopped about his past lifetime story. Now you might be knowing this. I guess there is a hint here in this verse. Till what point Narada Muni told about his past life story to Vyasadeva?
He could not see the Bhagavan again.
No. That is a later part. That is, he's going to tell about that story now, and he hasn't told that story at all in the 5th chapter.
Prabhu,
Very simple.
yeah, that's more. Prabhu, when the sages left, then Narad Muni was serving his mother.
No, that story hasn't come yet. Mother story hasn't come yet at all. Part 1 only is going on. Very simple. What did you do after the departure of the great sages? So till what point you are told?
They have instructed Narad Muniji
Till the point,
when they
till the point where the great sages told him all the confidential things, and they left for, after the Chaturmasya was over, they left for for other services, and then he stopped. Okay, I will tell you exactly where to look at. Go to 1.5. One 530. Come down, only read the translation, Prabhu.
Can I read the translation?
Yes, Prabhu.
As they were living, those translations, sorry, as they were living, those Bhakti Vedantas who were very kind to poor-hearted souls instructed me in that most confidential subject, which is instructed by the personality of Godhead himself.
So they are giving him the transcendental knowledge, confidential subject matter, and then they are leaving. They are leaving for other places. Right? They instructed him in the most confidential subject matter. To that point, he says, read the next verse. You go down. Sorry. Read the translation for the next verse. Anyone?
By that confidential knowledge, I could understand clearly the influence of the energy of Lord Sri Krishna, the creator, maintainer, and annihilator of everything. By knowing that, one can return to him and personally meet him.
So this is where he is going back to the confident. What is that confidential knowledge? So he doesn't tell the story of what he did after the Bhaktivedantas left. So Vyasadeva is very shrewd here, very smart. This is how we should be. Vyasadeva is giving us the perfect example of how to do Shravanam. He did not lose the thread. He didn't want to lose the thread. We many times miss the thread. Where he stopped and why it stopped and why it happened like this, why he moved. So Narad Muni did not give the story, full story. He told only up to the point the Bhaktivedanta are leaving, and he is telling this transcendental story. So anyone who is hearing, they'll say, okay, you are a maid servant in the past life. They gave you the transcendental knowledge, confidential knowledge. But this 1 + 1 2 has to become like that. You are a maid servant. And whether you practiced it or what did you do with that knowledge, that now you are able to become Narada and travel everywhere. You are so advanced, you are so pure a devotee, you are able to deliver Krishna to anybody and everybody. What did you do? What is that magic? Right? So unless and until we this is why it's called Papracha. Pracha means prashna. You're just asking a question. But Papracha means deep inquisitive questions with attentive hearing. When you are attentively hearing, you will know why. Hey, there is a break here. Okay, he told the knowledge. I want to know what he did with the knowledge so that I can also follow the same thing. So you got the link here. So Vyasadeva is asking this question. Now let's come back to 1.6, that 2, 3, that sloka. Let's come back to this sloka. Right? Now 16, 1, 2, 3. Now let's go to 163. And see this in advanced view, Prabhu. That way you don't have to scroll every time. If you go up, you will see the view will be there. Go up. Click on default and select advanced. Now you are just in the same page, you can see. Okay, now let's read the next. See this. What did he do after initiation from the spiritual master? That is the question that we should all know. We should all want to know of our spiritual master, of anyone else also, because everybody is that endeavor, no, their journey, no, it inspires us. Like see, suddenly, like say someone like Amaglila Prabhu is now become a very good, successful preacher. And when they did some interview, he told that after his 12th standard, he wrote a letter to his parents that don't search for me, I will come back. All the parents will be looking for their children to, join college and come out and successful, all that. He just went on a tour after 12th standard. For 1 year, he was just traveling around. Now you know what somebody to take a bold decision. No, I'm not telling that everybody should go around like that, but that will give you some inspiration. Like that, you take Prabhupada's lifetime, you take anyone else like Param Puja, Gopal Krishna Maharaj, Radhanath Maharaj, how he was traveling around like a bhikshu everywhere, and was traveling from one country to another country and was looking for the self-realization, looking for that absolute thing. So many such stories are there where devotees who have now become certain thing, they all were at some point they are engaged in some serious search, Saddharma Pracha. Okay, now you read the next shloka, Swayambhuva. This one, who wants to read this now? These are all short purports, so we will quickly go up to where Narad Muni is going to speak. Who wants to read this verse now?
I'll read, Prabhuji.
Hmm.
Swayam bhuvakaya vritya vartitam te param vayah katham chedam
Udasrakshihi.
udasrakshihi kale prapte kalevaram.
Kale prapte kalevaram. Yes, Madhu.
O son of Brahma,
No. Why are you skipping word for word?
Okay. Swayam Bhuva, O son of Brahma. Kaya, under what condition? Vritya, occupation. Vartitam, was spent. Te, you. Param, after the initiation. Vayaha, duration of life. Katham, how. Cha, and. Idam, this. Udasrakshihi, did you quit? Kale, in due course. Prapte, having attained. Kalevaram, body. Translation. O son of Brahma, how did you pass your life after initiation, and how did you attain this body, having quit your old one in due course?
So this is a very important question. Even if we are asked that question, we should have some story to tell, right? So Narad Muni, in those days, initiation does not mean giving a bead and do yajna and everything. They just gave the knowledge. That's all. For Dhruva Maharaj, Narad Muni just gave the mantra Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I told him instruction. Come on, you are on your own now. So initiation is through instruction, initially mainly through the Diksha mantra and how to chant that mantra and what to follow. That is all is initiation. So he's specifically asking, how did you pass your life after initiation? Because you are saying your life has changed after meeting those sages. But simply meeting the sages is not something great. Anyone and everyone can see the sages. You would have done something with their instruction, whatever, after the initiation. So what exactly you did after initiation? Because not everybody receiving initiation is getting transformed in the same way. But you are really special. You are a very ordinary person. And now you are Narad Muni. how this whole thing transformation happened. This is something which I want to know, because if you know the process of this transformation, then you will really know the power of that process itself, isn't it? The process which transformed you from, say, a normal stone into a touchstone, if you know how he followed that process, then we will appreciate the purity or the power potency of that process, correct? When Prabhupada was initiated by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, if he were an ordinary personality like anyone, any other soul, we would not be taking it so seriously. But because Prabhupada was able to transform the world, not only himself, but it would transform the whole world by that one instruction of his spiritual master, that preach in English and travel around the world and preach in English. Because he had taken that so seriously, he was blessed with so much opulence as a result of that pure surrender to his spiritual master's instruction, following spiritual master's instruction. Every moment, every kshana, he was following the spiritual master's instruction. That is why he could do so many things which are very unbelievable, inconceivable, this world, right? So Narad Muni is more or less a similar thing only. He was also instructed by these great sages, and they left. After that, how was your life? You had your mother. Did you continue doing your devotional service with your mother, or you went to some college or some higher studies, or you went for work, or you what did you do really? That knowledge that was given to you, what exactly did you do with it? So that is the beautiful question that Vyasadeva asks, and this is the kind of question that when we ask our spiritual masters, it will please the spiritual master. Not that they want to tell about their own life, my life is this, my life is that, etc., etc. No, not that. Just to do self glorification. No, they want everybody to take inspiration. If an ordinary living entity like me can do this, they think like that. If an ordinary living entity like me can do this, then so many many souls can also get benefited by this process. So that is why this question by Vyasadeva is very important, because it is going to reveal some very, very beautiful, glorious qualities of Narad Muni. Okay. I think you haven't read the purport, isn't it?
Yes, Prabhuji. Sri Narada Muni in his previous life was just an ordinary maid servant's son. So, how he became so perfectly transformed into the spiritual body of eternal life, bliss, and knowledge is certainly important. Sri Vyasadeva desired him to disclose the facts for everyone's satisfaction.
See, this is a beautiful thing again. Now, what is Vyasadeva's motive here? This line gives a beautiful motive of Vyasadeva.
For everyone's satisfaction, he wanted.
So, whatever we are asking the spiritual master should be not only for our own personal this thing, but also this exchange should be meaningful and useful for everyone else's satisfaction, because they all have an example through which they can go forward in their life. Like you see many stories in this material world, also from rags to riches stories we hear. No, somebody was like a son of auto rickshaw wala and he became an IAS, or somebody who did not even have the fees to pay for his school days, he has now become a governor, and like that. Like these kind of stories inspire us, because the doubt or question we always have in our mind is, I am willing to work hard, but will that hard work pay me? That is a question everybody has, right? If you are 100% sure that my hard work will always pay, then nobody will hesitate to take those hardships. Because we are seeing stories where in some cases the hard work is repaid back. Some cases it is not working. So we are doubtful what will happen. Well, most of us are like phalena parichyate. Most of us are only after the phala, how the process has helped a person. That's when we like to take that process. If the process is not working for a person, then why would we want to? At least in the beginning stage, that's what we will be. We want to hear stories of those who followed and became a big person. That ideally that is not supposed to be the case. That is also a phala hetu vala. It's like we are only when we see that the process has helped somebody achieve certain things, then only we will appreciate that process. That is always the initial way of initial desire for all of us. That's how we always go with, right? So, but then as we start understanding the process more and more, go deeper, having the taste for following that process more and more, what we do, we naturally become attached to the we naturally become attached to the process, irrespective of whether they are getting the benefit or not. Some people may not get the benefit. Some people may get or will get. When we see that, we'll see that, oh, okay. So this person is following it sincerely. This person is not following sincerely. Let's say the person A got the benefit, the person B didn't get. So we will know the differences, right? So that way we will appreciate the value or the potency of the process itself. So that moment we lose faith in the process itself, now our whole the endeavor is gone. The thread of our sincere the bhakti is gone, because the moment you lose the faith in the process. So we should always associate with those who have tried or have succeeded in following the process, or those are trying sincerely to follow the process, irrespective of whatever challenges they may or may not get, the challenges they may get. So those are the things that will help us go forward, and that's where Narada Muni's case is a classic case of rags to riches, and which will inspire. When I say riches, not material riches, but spiritual riches, right? Material riches means we'll say, oh, he's become like someone like a Warren Buffett or Bill Gates or the Jeff Bezos or whatever. We compare somebody becoming opulent in this world only by the power, the riches, wealth, all these things they have. But in terms of the character, if they are not really following a good character, their character is not worth following, then they don't set the standard. It becomes a unnecessary disturbance in the society. So how much ever you may be wealthy, rich, opulent, strong, powerful, for all those things, only a person with sanity. That's why in one rhymes we say that if your room is clean, then your mind is clean. If your mind is clean, you can do anything. If our room is dirty, then so are we. And if we are dirty, we are not happy. If your wealth is gone, there is nothing wrong. If your health is gone, that's a different song. But if your character dies, then the world will cry, because only saintly behavior lets humanity thrive. Beautiful line. If your character dies, then the world will cry, because they will say that, hey, how nice a devotee he was. He just lost everything and he went away. Just get distracted and went into all different vices. Everything got attracted to the bad qualities. So nobody like to see that kind of. They have pity on him or her, but they don't want to follow that kind of an example. If your character dies, then the world will cry. The world will cry for your such a nice person. He went away. They feel bad for you, because only saintly behavior lets humanity thrive. Only if only by our saintly behavior, we can inspire the humanity to thrive. That's very, very important. One of the devotees wrote this rhymes very nicely. Maharaj appreciated it very much. It's there in our website also, in our app also. But that gives the essence of the whole reason why we want examples in our spiritual world, spiritual paradigm also. Okay, so by hearing Narada Muni's this how he got transformed, because the sages have gone now. Now he cannot take association of them day to day serving. So they gave something to him before leaving. So with that, is he able to? What did he do really? Did he do something with it? Or he went back to his mother and said, "Wherever you are going, I will go with you, just to put me in some normal school." Or that way, if you are there, he will not be moving about like anything. He will not be a spiritual master of Vyasadeva, right? See, Narad Muni was born son of a maidservant, lower caste in the past life, and he became Narad Muni. Vyasadeva also, even though he is Krishna himself, he was born to Satyavati, who is the son of, the daughter of a fisherman. She's a fisherwoman. So he was born to a fisherwoman, right? So there is, like, normally you will say that, oh, if you are born in a higher life and all that, in a more opulent and in a better family, then you will have all the opportunity to survive. Or come out in flying colors. But when you are in another body or life where you don't have the opportunity to study, you don't have the opportunity for someone to guide you, etc., then it is very difficult. So in both the cases, they were really served by by great souls, isn't it? Vyasadeva's father was a Parashara, even though he was a son of a fisherwoman. Born to Satyavati and Parashara. Parashara Muni, he gave all the knowledge to Vyasadeva, even though Vyasadeva is Krishna himself, that's another thing. But so we have to understand this very carefully, that these two great personalities, exalted personalities, talking about each other's thing, it is very important lesson for all of us. So that is why when we hear this, always there is one thing that is beautiful, that is that even if you don't follow devotional life, even if you don't follow the spiritual path, still, if you see someone going from rags to riches in the spiritual realm, anybody will get satisfied, because that is how pure devotees attract. Pure devotees' life attracts us. Prabhupada's life not only attracts devotees, his life attracts anyone and everyone. Because of his intense devotion and focus on pure devotional service, in 10 years, if you could do so much, that too, after everyone decides to leave their body, leave their retire and they stay with their family and just to leave their body in a peaceful condition. Instead of that, he was doing revolution. 70 to 80 years old, he was doing the revolution, traveling around the world. That is how he is inspiring us also. His life is also inspiring us, right? And with all the opulence and everything that he had, at the end of the day, what did he do? He came back to the same Vrindavan and left his body without any ado. Otherwise, so much thing could have happened. He could have said, I have to be glorified like this, I have to be glorified like that. In fact, when people were trying to glorify him, he was very much chastising them. Man, don't waste your time in all these things. I am an ordinary living entity. Just follow the instructions I am doing. You will also become great. And that is very true. We are seeing that everywhere. Okay. So any questions, comments till now before we move on? Otherwise, let's move on to the next verse. Who wants to read the 4th verse? Anyone? Volunteers? Read the 4th verse.
Can I read, Prabhu?
Yes, ma'am. Prakalpa. Prakalpa.
Prakalpa Vishayam
Prakalpa, Mataji.
Prakalpa Vishayam Yetam Smritim Te Muni Sattama Nahi Yesha Vivata Kala Yesha Sarva Nirakriti. Nirakritihi. Prak, prayer. Kalpa, the duration of Brahma's day. Vishayam, subject matter. Etam, all these. Smritim, remembrance. Te, your. Muni Sattama, O great sage. Na, not. He, certainly. Yesha, all these. Devadat, made any difference. Kalaha, course of time. Yesha, all these. Sarva, all. Nirakritihi, annihilation. Translation. O great sage, is this Prabhu? O great sage, time annihilates everything in due course. So how is it that this subject matter, which happened prior to this day of Brahma, is still fresh in your memory, undisturbed by time? Purport.
No. Before going to purport, you see this question, how meaningful it is. Normally, when you are asked about your previous life, nobody will tell that, correct? So if I am asked about my previous life, I can only tell up to my school days, college days, whatever. If you ask me what did you do in your previous life, I will not know. Because when we come into this body, we are made to forget the whole thing. Right? But then Narada Muni is talking about his previous life just like that. I was a maid servant in the past life. These sages came. They instructed me. I was Alpabashi, and I was not very much attracted to sports. I was very obedient, and they taught me something. The taste for the knowledge and all start growing more and more and more. Like this and all is telling, as if it has happened just a few days ago. Actually, it happened in his previous life, which happened many yugas ago, right? So it's a abnormal thing for someone to remember his past lifetime or past life. So it's why, how is it that is still fresh in your memory, undisturbed by time? This is the first and foremost magic that he is recognizing. What Vyasadeva is telling is that even though you have told only half the story, there is something amiss here. That you are talking about a previous life as if it happened like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, like that. How can someone do that? So that itself means you have been blessed in some extraordinary way, right? And so something very abnormal and very something very strange is happening here for Vyasadeva. Normally, even for all of us, how can somebody talk about their previous life? Other than him, you will see only Jada Maharaj. He is talking to about his previous life. Or Vritrasura talks about his previous life as Chitraketu. Or Gajendra talks about his previous life as Indradyumna. You don't see many others doing that, other than that, even in devotional service. So this must be extremely extraordinary, right? Krishna himself says in Bhagavad Gita, what is that? Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tavacharjuna tanyaham veta sarvani natvam veta parantapa. Many lifetimes you and I have passed, Arjuna, but I remember all of them. But you don't remember. You can't remember. Why? Because Krishna is pure. So these devotees have become as pure as Krishna. Krishna is the only one who can remember all the previous appearance and disappearance. So if some devotees are also having the same quality of very rare quality, then that's really special. Right? So undisturbed by time, that's a beautiful quality here. Yavadhat Kalaha. Did not make any difference. The change of time, change of thing. No, but even to about my childhood in this lifetime, how many things I will remember? All of us, how much we can remember? Or our youth days, or college days, or office early days, or all this. We can't remember everything. Correct? But he is telling about a lifetime which is many thousands of years before. So everything is annihilates in due course. That subject matter which happened prior to this is still fresh in your memory. The day of Brahma, you know how long it is? 1000 Chaturyugas, 12 hours. Another 1000 Chaturyugas. 1000 Chaturyugas means 1000 into 4 yugas. 4 yugas means 1 into, what is that? 4,32,000. Plus 2 into 4,32,000. Plus 3 into 4 lakh. Plus 4 into 3, 4 lakh. So 10 into 4,32,000 years is 1 Chaturyuga. That is 43 lakhs, 220 million, whatever that number, 20 lakhs of that number. And that into 1000 is actually 12 hours of Brahma. And to similar length of duration, he sleeps in the night. 1000 into 1000 Chaturyugas. That is another 12 hours. So 2000 Chaturyugas he spends in one day. And so that one lifetime where he spent in one of the Chaturyugas, he is remembering the next day of Brahma. So prior to whichever prior to this day, maybe next day or how many other days that maybe we don't know. But prior to this day means this day we are in certain day of Brahma. So whatever you went through, it's not just the previous life, just one life and you came back. It happened many lifetimes, thousands of lifetimes ago. Really amazing question. So let's read this purport.
As spirit is not annihilated even after the annihilation of the material body, so also spiritual consciousness is not annihilated. Sri Narada developed this spiritual consciousness even when he had his material body in the previous kalpa. Consciousness of the material body means spiritual consciousness expressed through the medium of a material body. The consciousness is inferior, destructible, and perverted. But super consciousness of the super mind in the spiritual plane is as good as the spirit soul and is never annihilated.
See, this is the difference between material consciousness and spiritual consciousness. Because we are confined to this body, because we are always thinking that I am this body, we are not able to remember the past lives in whichever body we may be in. On the other hand, when we give up the consciousness that I am this body, then Krishna blesses us with the remembrance of all the knowledge that we remember in the previous lives. That is how, if you put a little bit endeavor now, little bit endeavor we put, then the slokas will be remember. With the meaning, not simply written, but with the meaning also. Why? Because those slokas you already learned, our Atma already knows. Now we are just removing that covering, the material covering, so that the sunlight is clearly visible, like the clouds are like the material covering. And when you just clear that cloud, smoke and all, then the sunlight will be very clear to us. It will be very reveal the whole thing very clearly. Right? So that is the important thing we should know. This consciousness of the material body means spiritual consciousness expressed through the medium of material body. See how nicely Prabhupada has explained the material consciousness. In the material body also, body has no consciousness. Only the Atma has consciousness. But the Atma's consciousness is spread throughout the body, and this consciousness in combination with the mind and false ego thinks that I am limited only to this body. That is the greatest misunderstanding we have. The moment the coverings are all removed, we become, we start seeing everything with the Samadarshi mentality and etc. Then we'll be able to appreciate others' pain also. So we will be able to enter into the consciousness of the others. Right now, I am not able to appreciate anyone else's pain because I am not able to bear my own body's pain, my own mind's pain. The consciousness, I'm only experiencing my own body pain and pleasure because I just want to enjoy and suffer my body. But if we go into the super consciousness, understand that the super soul is driving everything and we are just subservient to him, then our consciousness will be super consciousness, right? So that supra mind means it's the mind that is purified by in connection with, in contact with the soul and the intelligence. So that mind will be supplied with the knowledge from the previous lifetime also, provided we go beyond this bodily consciousness. And how to go beyond this bodily consciousness is what Narada Muni is going to explain the whole thing, the process of Bhakti Yoga. Imagine Bhakti Yoga, on one hand, it helps us develop that love for Krishna. But how does it help develop the love for Krishna? But removing the coverings and then making us go beyond the bodily confinement. When we are feeling for somebody suffering, that is going beyond the bodily confinement. We are feeling for others' consciousness, how much they are suffering. But if you only see the pain of those who are related to me, then again bodily consciousness. How were the hippies connected to Prabhupada? How were the Japanese, Chinese, Russians, and other world country were all connected to Prabhupada in terms of body? I'm saying, were they brothers, sisters from some this thing? No. But he connected with everybody through the Atma consciousness, supra mind. And that is how he was able to build the relationship with them. So building the relationship does not need to be a two-way traffic. It can be one way also. Later, as we keep on doing this connectivity with the other Atmas, then eventually there will be some reciprocation from there by Krishna's arrangement. But if you go with this attitude that, oh, if I give something to them, they should come. If I take classes, they should come regularly. If I give them some knowledge, they should come back. Like that kind of an expectation is there, then we ourselves are not in a proper consciousness. Then how can we expect us to be, transformative in others, have the transformative potency in others' life? You get me? So this is what this questions that till now whatever Vyasadeva has had has made a very, very big impact. It's an impactful few questions, because Narada Muni deliberately stopped at a point where to raise the curiosity. That what happened to this person? What happened to him after the thing? You told all knowledge and everything, that is fine. Okay, I see Chanchalpati Prabhu asking a question in the chat. It is said that we should give accountability. What does that mean, Prabhu? I am not able to understand. We should give accountability.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, just now you said that if we are taking also class, then we said that we should see, they should come and tell about what they have understood. Like this, you are telling, if this expectation we are having, that means we are not in correct consciousness.
We are not in, we are in bodily consciousness. Yes.
So that's what I was asking. The generally it is said that we should give accountability also, what we have understood, what we have learned.
It comes on its own, Prabhu. See, I'm not saying that you should not ask questions like what did you learn from the previous class, etc. But not the expectation that oh, they should be knowing, they should do this, they should do that. That kind of an expectation or force, by force we cannot bring anybody. By your own teaching methodology, by your own interest in the subject matter, you will enable, you will inspire people to come and ask this question. Like we see in our Bhagavatam, you can see that progression happening. No, Prabhu. I don't know about many devotees, but some who have definitely said this, that by going through this kind of a discussion, we are able to be inquisitive, ask that right inquisitive questions. Earlier, they were saying that they will ask only informative questions, which is like, how many wives Krishna had, how many years he lived, and these are all very informative data based. But when we discuss in this way, they feel that oh, I am able to ask questions or be introspect myself to transform my life. So for character transformation. I can ask questions related to that, like how Vyasadeva is asked this question here, right? We are not forcing anybody to do like that, but by continuously having that kind of a discussion, they are able to ask these questions. Some devotees told, I don't know how many really felt like that, but at least some felt this. So there is no need to force anybody, but by our own example, we can make them come to this point where they can enjoy it. And secondly, we don't have to push that, you have to come and do this only this way. There is no my way or highway thing. There is no thing like, this is the only way. There are so many different ways that people can learn and get attached to Bhagavatam. There are so many ways in which people can start relish Bhagavatam, Ruchi, they will get the Ruchi. So we don't enforce anything upon people, but by our own personal example, we can let people, like whatever we learn from our superiors, we are just sharing that to others. It's up to them to take it or not. Does that help, Prabhu? So accountability comes on its own, responsibility comes on its own by seeing, like how we are all attached to Prabhupada. Prabhupada didn't force anybody, you should do like this, you should do like this, how I did and all that. He was just doing it himself. And we get so much benediction or benefit by reading through his story. That one book we are reading, how many more such books are there to read about him? Right? Prabhupada never insisted anybody. So Maharaj always said this one thing, that never insist anybody. If they are interested, they will take it. If they are not interested, it's up to Krishna. He will direct them accordingly. Does that help, Prabhu? So it's always inspiration is what will help people. If I am very forceful, then people will do it for the sake of, I have to keep him happy, just to kind of, that out of fear they will do, not out of love. So it's always better to let people follow certain things out of love rather than out of fear. Okay. Any other questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
The third line, it says conscious of the material body means spiritual consciousness, which means that they're saying Atma is expressing through the medium of
spiritual
material
consciousness.
body.
No, Atma is the source of the spiritual consciousness. But when that consciousness is spread throughout the body, it is the mind that will take the role. It will do what you call. It will project itself as the Atma. The mind will say that I am the Atma. No, you all satisfy me. Like that. So the mind is only filled within this through the agency of the senses. It will try to do all the sense gratification. So dead body will not have any consciousness. The consciousness of the material body means spiritual consciousness to the medium of material body. So even now I am talking, this is because of the spirit soul inside, right? But when I'm realizing that I am not this body, then it means that the mind has no role. Mind has no contamination role. It just does what the Atma is telling it to do. Mind is purified. When the mind is purified, then our consciousness goes beyond the limitations of our body. Mind will be only, a contaminated mind will only think about itself. My family, my life, my this, my that, etc.
So that again, the fourth line, this conscious is inferior, destructible, impervator is the material consciousness is the Prabhupada's referring to.
Yeah, the consciousness which is it is a contaminated consciousness because of the mind taking control. The false ego and mind takes control. Both of them are non-existent, but they are taking control as if they are existent. So when we realize that this mind and false ego are actually non-existent, then we will be more on the spiritual platform than coming down. So somebody is making fun of our body, they will not react. Somebody is making fun of my position, my failures in life and all those things, which from their point of view, it's a failure. But from my point of view, it's just just that in the material world, this life, particular life, I did not get the opportunity to come out, but that is not a problem. He will also die, I will also die. But my consciousness will be a bit more pure because I will not have much attachment. Whereas his consciousness will be really contaminated because he will be worried about, oh, I am so successful, still people are not respecting me. I did not get the recognition. Someone else got the recognition, but without so much quality. I struggled so hard, but still I'm not getting. All these kind of thoughts are coming from the disturbed mind, contaminated mind. Right.
So when we are getting these thoughts, which means our mind is
Mind is ruling like
at least
anything.
be aware that it is very disturbed and it is contaminated.
Yeah. When we are reading these things, you will start thinking, oh, how nice these things are. How much Krishna is helping me to gain this knowledge. But then he is not giving me opportunity to distribute this anywhere. Why I should, why Krishna is so partial, hmm? That he is giving opportunity to somebody and not giving opportunity to me, right? So in NVCC also, when we discussed about this partiality and impartiality, the devotees were a bit confused. Towards the end of it, I told them, actually throughout the class we were talking about Krishna's impartiality, but towards the end of it, I told them that actually Krishna is partial. Then they were surprised. Throughout the class, you are telling Krishna is impartial. Now in the end, you are telling Krishna is partial. And you have to clarify it, that the partiality is that he is so partial towards me that even though I don't deserve any bit of this mercy, but still he is making me come to this temple and to this devotee association, and giving me so many opportunity to serve and to progress in Krishna consciousness. That is his partiality. And I thank that. I wish Krishna be partial like this forever. So this feeling of I don't deserve, but still Krishna is giving, it's a good feeling to have, because that way you will not leave just because some little miss here, miss there, something here and there. We are just missing it in devotions. It is not the process. We will not leave the process. You say that okay, process is pure. You just keep on going, right? That's what Narada Muni also told in his previous life. Although the we remember we talked about it. I don't know. Some of you would have been there. Yeah, although the sages were impartial by nature, still they were merciful to me. That was the thing. He said, I don't deserve, but they were partial to me. They were impartial by nature, but they were partial to me. That's what he was telling. Normally, they give only when somebody deserves to get this knowledge, by doing all the austerities, penance, and doing service to them, so much hard work. Like you see, Krishna and Balram also had to do so much seva. Sudama and all had to do so much seva to their guru, Sandipani Muni, to sit and get the knowledge. But Narada Muni feels so lucky that without any of those hardships, they are giving me all this highest knowledge. So how much more blessed he must be. So this is one secret of getting attached to spiritual master, that we always feel he's partial. He's too partial.
Feeling grateful
When you
also.
feel that, yeah, because when you feel that partial, that the partiality from a with a I don't deserve, still they gave me, that kind of an attitude, then our gratitude will grow, right? When the gratitude on the spiritual master and all the Vaishnavas grow, then we'll be very happy and hale and healthy in devotional consciousness. That's all we want.
Sometimes the mind is very agitated now, Prabhu. I automatically think today the day is gifted by Krishna. We are able to chant his names. We are able to take prasadam. So even when we mind automatically, get pacified. Like if you feel grateful,
Sorry, what does mind do automatically?
no, wait, it gets pacified. Like now being agitated. What do I get? What do I get? I didn't get this. I didn't get that. Instead of it, when we think about how, as you said, like Guru has given this knowledge to us without having any quality, but Guru
Qualification.
mercifully, he has given this. He has connected us to Krishna. We are chanting the name. We are able to get so many people are here in this world. They don't have not at even tasted once the prasadam also.
Yeah.
So we have got that opportunity.
Then what should we do? Immediately we will say that, okay, Krishna, you gave me the mercy. I don't want to be the only fortunate soul. Please, I will give it to everyone else also. Right? So to whoever we meet, that's what Prabhupada did. If Prabhupada did not do that, we would not have known Prabhupada at all. If he had not gone to the outside India and distributed it all over the world, we would not have known India. So just say simply, like just like any other Swamiji, is just preaching in some Jhansi, some here and there, Gwalior, this place, that place, like that. No, we want, see, that's why there are so many Swamis who came after him. They were all, I would say, they may have little sincerity. I'm not denying that. Definitely some little sincerity might be there, but most of them are social media swamis, or name and fame swamis. They are not able to, you know, transform the life of people. They have big millionaires and billionaires as their disciples, and some of them are loitering in the jail because of because it's a huge position to be in, pure Vaishnava and being glorified. You know, we are all glorifying each other, but actually speaking, we don't deserve that glorification. When we are completely unattached to that glorification, only then our the devotional vehicle will move. Our life will move. Little bit of attachment to the glorification also, it will stop. So these people are having so much attachment to their glorification. I am Jagat Guru, I am this, I am that, etc. But you see where they are landing. So Prabhupada, being, being such an exemplary saint, pure saint, Vaishnava, and still continuing to inspire people even after his departure after 50 years. It's not so easy. Somebody to keep running an organization after 48 years of his departure. So that's why purity is the force. Purity is the purpose, sincerity of purpose is what Krishna is looking for. Prabhupada's purpose was very sincere. He didn't want to become a billionaire, a world famous person and all that. If that is the case, he would have stayed in the US. They would have erected some nice big samadhi in the US. They had all those arrangements there in New Vrindavan and Gita Nagari, so many places they were having arrangements. But Prabhupada said, no, I just want to come back to my humble place. In Vrindavan. Where I started, I will come back to that place. But where you are, this thing is not going to be a impact. It's going to be your purity is developed through by spreading. Your purity is spreading everywhere and creating more and more personalities. But I want to see this Swami, how such a pure soul can exist. But we all want to have that kind of the audience of that kind of a pure soul. And luckily, those of us who are attached to his instructions, we are seeing him through his words. And that's why he lives longer. Anyone else, they haven't written. If at all there is some book written, that will be only about their glorification. Oh, my Guru did this, my Guru did that, he produced something, he did something, he cleared somebody's cancer, he cleared somebody's kidney problem, those kind of things. That anyway, doctors will do. Why you are there? We are only there to help the body heal, whatever. Of course, that is also, that helps. But then by that process, what did you do? You increased only your own glorification. You did not connect them to Krishna. Right? And Prabhupada did not do any of such magic. But how are we glorifying him? Because he was completely surrendered to his spiritual master's order, and he just followed it to the T till his last moment. And that's how we are also supposed to do, because we also have our spiritual masters. He is our Param spiritual master anyway. So if we don't develop that same attachment to him, then how will we be able to inspire others? Our Guru Maharajas are all able to inspire even now, isn't it? They are in the hospital and they are traveling from every week they are doing a surgery as if it's like an ordinary thing for them. Like we are brushing the tooth, like that they are doing surgery in the body. Why would they do? They don't want to just extend their life just like that. They want to inspire as many souls as possible. And that's why we are very much attached. So like that, when we are attached, how they are attached to Prabhupada, if we are also opposed to Prabhupada and attached to Prabhupada and our spiritual masters, then we will be able to inspire some souls. We won't know how, but the attachment to Bhagavatam is very, very important. Attachment to the holy name, attachment to Bhagavatam. These things inspire many souls anywhere. No? But genuine attachment should be there without any eagerness for name and fame. It's very, very genuine, should be there. If someone else is becoming glorified, we are happy. If someone is able to travel all around the world and doing so many sevas with the same Bhagavatam and holy name and doing different programs, seminar, courses, etc., whatever, we are happy, we pray for them. So that non-envious nature will help us relish Bhagavatam. And when you relish Bhagavatam, you will become cheerful. Prasannata will show in your face, show in your existence. And when you are prasanna, when you are really prasanna, irrespective of whatever the bodily inconveniences may be, one small thing may be here, some headache will be there, some stomachache will be there. For that, we do not have to have a shrunk face. It will come, it will go, Sitoshna Sukha Dukkha. But we are always cheerful. How in the last moments also they were so cheerful, the spiritual masters, you can see when they were leaving the body. So like when we are cheerful, people will really appreciate it. They will get inspired. So our job will be done. We are surrendered to the spiritual master. Nice question, Mataji. Very good to meditate on it.
Relishing Bhagavatam every day through in association of devotees, if we read, we will be able to relish the Bhagavatam.
No, irrespective of whether you have association or not, you should be able to do it. Association may or may not be there. In the association also you should do, right? But if the association is not there also you should do. Krishna does it like this. In the lack of association, if you are doing relishing Bhagavatam, then he will arrange the association where you can relish even more. If you are looking for only association, sorry?
You continue, Prabhu, please. I'll ask.
If you are always looking for association to relish Bhagavatam, then he will not give it. Because what happens in the association, 5 minutes you talk Bhagavatam, remaining 1 hour we'll just talk other things. We can't, if somebody is only talking Bhagavatam, we can't withstand that force of that purity. Right? Spiritual master comes, he says Gauranga, then he says few words here and there, 5 minutes, 10 minutes he speaks, and then he goes for other places. You're able to tolerate. Imagine a spiritual master comes and stays with us for a whole month. He says every day 5 hours we will read Bhagavatam. Do you think we'll be able to manage? You say, no, Maharaj, I will watch YouTube, Maharaj. I will watch offline thing, Maharaj. I have office work to do. I have family to take care of. Which is true. But what I'm saying is we are not ready for that pure association yet. That is why Krishna is not giving it. Krishna is giving one little thing. He's not giving so much. When we are really eager for it, then Krishna will give till the point that we can continue on. So that I will read Bhagavatam only when I have association itself, Krishna will not like that challenge. You are leaving, like today I was discussing this in the morning. 2 days ago, there was a quote by Sona Jayapatak Maharaj. Each one of us will have to catch our own flight. So I can't chant for you. You have to chant your own rounds. My chanting will not benefit you. Only your chanting will benefit you. You always keep saying, Guru Maharaj, please pray for me. Guru Maharaj, please pray that my son get married, my daughter gets married, my son gets good job, they settle. These are all not the spiritual master for. Spiritual master is supposed to give us the taste for bhakti, taste for holy names and Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. If that we have captured, then doesn't matter what else happens in our life. We just had I have not personally associated with that Mataji, but last week in Pune, I met that Mataji's younger sister and that younger sister's husband. Both are long-term devotees. More than 30 years they are devotees. Prabhuji's devotee there. And they say house was so wonderful, so nicely. The altar was so glittering. We were talking. And that younger sister, that Mataji was telling, that the elder sister who brought all of their family to Krishna consciousness, she was staying in the US. Basically, they are from Coimbatore. But she stayed in the US for a long time. She was hardly 48 years old, 47, 48 years old. But last 2-3 years or some years, she has been diagnosed with cancer. And the doctor told that nothing can be done, your body is going to leave. But she took it so positively that she intensified her devotion even more. She was giving classes so much, with so much realization about how to give up the body and all that. Just the day after Nirjala Ekadasi, she passed away in Coimbatore. And she's Sona Jayapatak Maharaj's disciple. So Bhakti Vinod Maharaj and many devotees were surrounding and chanting and all that. But then after knowing that, see, at 46, 48 years, 46 years old, if you are told that you will not be able to survive in this world, and then you are taking so much, your bhakti so much intensely and preaching everybody, they said that when she is preaching, we could really see that she is completely disconnected with the body. Because she's so much pain she was going through, but still she could give classes on Bhagavatam. So like this, they inspire us. And they all teach us by their own personal example how at some point you have to leave this body. See, if you have to leave at 80 years, 90 years, then you will, I mean, you have at least achieved something in life. And sometimes people will say that, okay, you have lived your life. At least you can go peacefully like that. But this 45, 48 years is like this a beginning time for, their daughter just got married and she's also a wonderful devotee. Why the son-in-law is also a wonderful devotee. They're all serving very nicely. Vaisheshika Prabhu personally wrote a long letter of glorification about Mataji. So the thing is, death did not come to her instantly, which every devotee prays for normally, Anayasena Marana. But still she took it up so seriously. That is my point. That she took up the life so seriously, devotional life, that okay, I'm going to die anyway, so let me give up all the attachment. Let me continue to preach as much as I can. So life is not very, the conclusion point I want to say is that life is not very, it's not a bed of roses. It's a bed of thorns. And there's no point in cribbing over it. There's no point in complaining to Krishna over it. Whatever it is, we have to accept that Krishna is as partial to us as the Bhakti Vedantas were partial to Narada Muni. And our spiritual master also has been so partial to us. Partial to us means merciful to us, merciful to us. That's what it means. Because frankly speaking, Maharaj, our spiritual master Mahavishnu Maharaj told once that if not for me, no one else would initiate you all. He told in a group in Singapore. He said, none of you are qualified. All of you are rascals. I am the sadhu of the rejects. When you are all rejected when no one else will give you initiation except me, he said. He was very, very straightforward. You people don't have an iota of sincerity, but still I have to come and give you initiation, so that you whatever little thing that you do out of little thing that you do, just do it. But he was very strict, straightforward. The kind of expectation or the kind of standard, I wouldn't say expectation, the kind of standard that is set for becoming a devotee, it's not a Kali Yuga standard. He had a different Yuga standard. And he said, if I were only 20 years younger, I will not be speaking to you. I will be with a stick only. I will handle you guys. You don't have any sincerity to learn the slokas. You don't have any sincerity to read through whatever Prabhupada has written with so much sincerity. And you claim to be devotees. I cannot digest this thing at all, you will say. Saying you are devotees. No iota of devotion. You really fire us like that. So actually, that made us feel that we don't deserve this kind of partiality from our spiritual masters. Some spiritual masters say, some spiritual masters don't say. That's the only difference. But all of us are in the same boat. So this helps us realize that we are so fortunate that we have received the mercy of our spiritual masters and Prabhupada. Somehow or other, just don't let the dhoti go. Catch hold of their dhoti and they will take us to Krishna. They take us to Golokam now.
This
Thank you, Mataji.
reminds me of Kadambakanana Maharaj, his last words when he's spoken, Prabhu. He says, don't take it very lightly. You have to take it very seriously. I'm waiting there on the other side. We all have that, what do you say, the party at that place.
Yeah.
So it was a 10-minute video or something, but it was very heartwarming to see Maharaj was saying that those
Yeah.
lines.
And the other thing that he told also has been very, very inspiring. That 16 rounds somehow or other we do here, we do there, nobody cares. Like, I do some, like I see sometimes devotees do service in left hand and keep chanting in the right hand. Those things are not the rounds at all. Chanting rounds means it should be done properly. Either you are sitting in a corner and do it, or are you, if you're walking also, no phones, nothing. You should be careful with that. No distractions. So somehow or other we assume that we have chanted out 16 rounds with all the distracted rounds. But books we cannot do that. Books I cannot say I am sitting 1 hour for distraction, because that distracted thing they will ask you, okay, what have you learned in the chapter? Come on, tell me. Then we will not have anything to share. I said, okay, you just sat down for the sake of it. It's a mechanical reading, so that will not help. So Maharaj said, the Prabhupada said minimum 1 hour reading, 1 to 2 hours reading. So that we are not able to do. Otherwise, we have become festival devotees only. We become like yatra devotees, festival devotees. We want always go, oh, we have to go for yatra. And last year only you visited Vrindavan. Today also, either you stay in Vrindavan all the time or you stay, no, I am to go and surcharge and come. So what do you mean? You just go put all your sins in Radha Kund, Shyama Kund, and then come. That is what we are supposed to do. No, that's not how we are supposed to. We have to go. We have to hear from the some nice saints and sages there. We have to, when we chant, we should go sit and chant peacefully. Some sincere rounds. We have to get inspired by going to, say, the Radha Damodar temple. Say it is Radha Raman, Radha Madan Mohan, all the temples. We have to have that gratitude with which we thank Krishna. That thank you, Krishna, for letting me come here. There are many acharyas who never gone to Vrindavan. They have never been to Vrindavan at all. All their life they stayed in either one place or other, and they left their body. But they are glorified as our acharyas in our parampara. So the purpose of going to Vrindavan, that is where again every single activity should be supported by the sincere question on sincerity of purpose. How sincere am I? How sincere is my purpose of going to Vrindavan? How sincere is my purpose of devotee association? How sincere is my purpose of doing some service in the temple? Is it doing for myself, or is it because everybody is doing, I also want to do, or is it because I want to please Guru and Krishna? I want to follow the instructions and fulfill the instructions of the spiritual master and Krishna. These are all the questions we should ask. That's why Prabhupada writes that he knows the sincerity of purpose. Krishna knows the sincerity of purpose. So showy, insincere religious fervor will not help. Prabhupada writes these 4 words: showy, insincere, religious fervor. Right? Thank you, Mataji. Very nice questions. I think we will stop here, because the next thing Narada Vacha is starting is a beautiful thing he's going to answer. Vyasadeva is also showing us a very important quality, how and in what mood, what exactly should the disciple ask the spiritual master. What is it? Again, there also sincerity of purpose. Every single act should be supported with answer to what is your sincerity? What is the sincerity of this purpose? What is the sincerity? How pure are you at heart in asking this question? How pure are you in your heart in this endeavor to study Bhagavatam? Many times this name and fame will come subtly and disturb us. So we pray to Vyasadeva and Narada Muni that in this chapter we will try to release this. Many beautiful things are going to come. So we will continue discussion going forward. Thank you so much, Prabhu Mataji. I know some questions might be there, but I think that this discussion would have helped in some way. Thank you then. Hare Krishna, Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hare Hare Manchakutara Krishna Prasad Vicha, Vitana Bhavanayo, Vishnu Jyonam. Krishna willing, we will see you during the week, because tomorrow we have a sung program, so we may not be able to have Prabhupada Smaranam tomorrow. That's why we had it just 2 days ago. So we will continue probably during the week or next week, and we will continue with our Bhagavatam discussion and Prabhupada Smaranam. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu Mataji. Hari Bol.